What's going on, everybody? Frank from AM Ramen here, and we are having the spiciest ramen in Tokyo today. And we're showcasing a nice variety today as well. From spicy ramen to fish powder to delicious tantanmen with pork cutlet toppings on top. While these are all gonna be spicy, there's a lot going on under the hood as well. But hopefully I'm mentally and physically prepared because we're starting off with a strongly spicy ramen. Nothing like destroying your stomach to start the morning. Let's go. Oh man, that was spicy. This ramen shop, Inosho, I've actually tried their instant ramen before I tried their ramen or skemen dipping ramen today. You have a rich soup. That's what this ramen group is known for. Some fish powder, which is very popular in skemen with rich soup. And I'm still recovering. I'm fairly sweaty right now. It's not that warm out. The sun's out, but temperature-wise, pretty cool. But yeah, I'm sweating from all that spice. And you get to choose from 4 levels of spice. Basically 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 is karame and 4 is gekikara. That's basically anus destroyer level because I got 3. I didn't want to go crazy to start with on an empty stomach, and 3 was still insanely hot. My stomach's kind of like, what are you doing to me first thing in the morning? And this is a morning shop technically because they're open from 10 a.m. and when I left a little bit after 11 or so, there were still people going in to eat ramen, a big group of them actually. But of course, on the menu, there is regular skemen and also regular ramen. I'm sure it's great, but this is the dish they're known for. And they don't hold back. When you're in Japan, most of the time, if a place says it's spicy, this is not Thailand. It's probably not gonna be spicy. However, every so often you come across a place like this that is not holding back. And the thing is, it's also still very delicious. It works so well. I feel like with the spice there, you don't get the richness in the soup as much as you might with skemen normally when it's not spicy. That rich soup serves more as a sort of coating agent or a means by which the noodles can cling to the soup. And what you're picking up instead, more powerfully, are the fish flavors coming from the powder there and the spiciness. And the richness is more in the back, let's say, helping out by being a thick soup. I'm walking around Nerima-ku, and it really reminds me a lot of like Otaku. And Otaku is where I grew up, basically South Tokyo, one of the places I grew up in Tokyo. And Nerima also feels kind of deep and remote in a way. But this area has changed a lot too. I haven't been here in a while and it looks fancier around the station. They built these big shopping malls and almost unrecognizable. Anyways, we're moving on to ramen shop number 2, which is a beautiful tantanmen place. Tantanmen is a style of ramen with minced pork instead of sliced pork and a beautiful spicy / sesame-based nutty soup. And this is one of the most famous in Tokyo. Let's do this. Okay, joined for my second bowl of spicy ramen with Kellen here. Kellen is a food consultant / chef extraordinaire, if I can say that.
Yes, my name is Kellen Hori. I started a small catering company called Kellen's Kitchen back in California. Currently living in Tokyo, Japan, working as a food consultant.
Awesome. And Kellen knows his stuff, and it's always interesting, I think, to eat food, in this case ramen. No, I think that outside perspective, maybe that's refreshing too, right? Because I'm always talking about like ramen lingo, this and that. Right. That being said, like, what did you think of the tantanmen we had today?
It was really good. I would call it kind of a sneaky bowl. It really gets you later. Very light to begin with, really nutty, and tasted, really light on the palate. Kind of didn't have a lot of aftertaste, but then as you keep going and going and going, man, it finished really strong. It was really rich, really delicious, like perfect salt, perfect spice level. Yeah, it was really well balanced, and the noodles were incredible.
Very nicely summarized. So I don't know what to add to that, but as you said, it's like a, almost like a layered soup, right? It's a different experience maybe when you're first eating it. Towards the end, it seems like we were, not that we weren't enjoying it in the beginning, but we were definitely smiling more at the end, right? When everything was coming together. It's a kind of light, not even a jab, but it's like this, it starts very delicately. It's a nice handshake. Hello, this is who I am. And then, it gets a little bit heavier as it goes on, right? But not too heavy. As you said, I think it's still, very delicately balanced, delicious, of course. And, how about those noodles? Like, I thought those noodles were great.
Fantastic.
I think, yeah.
They're really fantastic. You can really tell the difference between a shop that crafts their own noodles versus a shop that gets a lot of kind of mass-produced noodles.
Yeah, and they were so hefty too, right? Like, they weren't just like these dainty, like, if we were to categorize this as a delicate soup, you have like these very, it's tricky because, you know, it started out delicate and then it kind of gets heavier, but it definitely wasn't rich.
Spicy tantanmen, right?
And that's the thing, we haven't even talked about spice because we were so focused on the soup. So Kellen got the less spicy version. I was scared too because of my last traumatic bowl, which was great. So I was conservative. I think, what was it, up to 4, at least on the standard scale, right? I did 3, you did 2, I think. You did 1. Yeah, 1 or 2. Definitely could have gone to 4. I'm sure both of us could have gone to 5. Yeah, even beyond that. And this is because it's maybe an older place. They're not, you know, going crazy with the spice. But, you know, we didn't need the spice. And that's why we're talking about how delicious the soup was with just enough spice.
When you go get like miso ramen, I usually end up putting togarashi or some spiced chili oil on it just to get that little bit of punch. This one didn't need it. And I think a little bit more would have been nice, but I was tepid, knowing that I'm going to get at least 1 more bowl. So,
well, that's the thing. I'm dragging him to another place, so that's another reason why we don't want to destroy ourselves, stomachs included. But yeah, in summary, great bowl. I think between the toppings, you know, of course, the dried shrimp was a nice touch, added an extra element.
Got to mix that in early.
Mix it in, and that changes a lot.
When that shrimp got mixed in and incorporated, it became more full-bodied.
And it seemed to, like, you know, almost work as like a thickening agent, right? Just
definitely.
Because there were big chunks of shrimp in there. I think, you know, there was this brininess that came with this, a little bit of bitterness too, right? So adding extra flavors. The other toppings were awesome, of course, but between the two, mine were better, right?
Yeah. You're the expert.
No. I got lucky because that's like further down on the menu, right? It's like, you know, the first one that they're pushing is the pork chashu.
It was like 4th or 5th.
Exactly, and that's what Kellen got. And I was like, all right, why don't we change it up?
I mean, it was thick.
They were thick. So if you're looking for a filling bowl, I think the pork
meat was
chashu
nice.
were great, but
not a lot of flavor.
Right, but mine were flavorful.
Really
right?
flavorful.
The pickle.
Salt and pepper, right?
Yeah. Really nicely seasoned, beautiful pork cutlet. So that would be, I think, the bowl
I would get
to
that
go
next
for.
time. Yeah, that one at 3-level spice, I think, would be a good start.
Right.
You can always make it more spicy. You can't take it away.
That is true. That's true. There's no turning back once you've already decided on like that initial point. Alrighty, I'm dragging Kellen to another place. I think
Frank,
we'll grab
you're not
coffee.
dragging. I invited myself.
That's true. It's
kids in daycare.
Let's we'll grab coffee, I think, right here and head for another spicy bowl.
Let's go.
Let's do it. So, round 2 for us, round 3 for me, and a completely different experience. We just had a big bowl. That was a hefty one.
I'm so full.
Me too. There were a lot of noodles in there. They were super thick. We were kind of intimidated in a little bit, looking over at the other people that were just about to get their bowls. I mean,
when you sat down and you looked around, you realized you were in for a big, heavy bowl. Do not recommend having more than 1 bowl after this bowl.
In the first place, the noodles were thinner, but they were hefty in that they were dense. These were super dense, super thick and filling. And what they were picking up was very thick mapo tofu or mabo tofu, but without tofu. Yeah, what did you think? Because you're a fan of that style, right?
It was good. It was really different than other ones I've had. It was really heavy on the sancho. And as you said, when it hit a plate in front of us, it was garlic, like just in your face.
The garlic everywhere you bit for the most part, right? It was either sancho or maybe garlic, right? At the same time. So strong flavors. This one was very concentrated, as you said, very condensed, right? And not soupy at all. But still mabo-ish with super fatty chashu,
really
right?
Fatty chashu, yeah. Really fatty. I think this one is, like, it stands alone. This is an easy one that can set you off for a meal for the day. Nice hangover meal. Punches you in the face. Absolutely strong flavors, strong odor.
A greasy bowl that isn't that spicy. Of course, it's technically, you know, in the spicy ramen category, and that's how they advertise it, but not super spicy, maybe more than like a chili or spice, more sancho.
But it's there, like I was sweating, my cheeks are sweating a little bit, but it doesn't linger, you know, like that kind of, some of that Asian spice doesn't linger.
And then you're immediately reminded of the garlic and the other things.
All I taste right now is garlic.
We're in this garlic cloud right now.
My wife will not be happy tonight.
Neither will mine. So Kellen was a trooper. He got the one with extra toppings.
Hold on, Frank goes, you can only get this one here. So I was like, well, I have to get that. The onsen tamago on the side was a really nice touch. You can kind of add it whenever you wanted to. I added it fairly early on, and I think the egg really helped the gravy. For me, my preferences anyway. I love cilantro, so there could have been a ton more of that on there, but it was really good. I think that actually made the dish.
I did miss the cilantro. I'm a fan. I know out there are people that either hate it or love it. I think also from an aesthetic point of view, sometimes I'll be like, all right, Kellen, you can get this one, I'll get that one. So it looked a little bit different, right?
You never really talk about the aesthetics of a ramen shop, but this one was newer. It was newer, more modern, nice like lighting inside versus kind of a darker, dingy, old school spot that you would normally see here in Tokyo. But so this was definitely more modern, more younger clientele.
Yeah, younger clientele, younger staff.
Yeah.
This is from the Yamaguchi group of ramen shops. I believe is their second brand, completely different from their first. And I'm glad we got to sample this brand and have some coffee to stay up. Thanks so much for joining today,
Thanks,
Kellen.
Frank. Looking forward to next time.
Likewise, yeah.
Let's do it.
Go follow Kellen on social media as well, at Kellen's Kitchen. I put it here on the screen. And yeah, hope you can join for a future video.
We'll join for a future video.
I will drag you out again. Doesn't have to be spicy ramen, some sort of ramen.
We'll do something else.
Sounds good. Sounds like a plan. Whew, I'm kind of walking around in this spice haze, if you could call it, again in a residential neighborhood, this time in Nishi Kasai. But the ramen at Manriki is all about spices, spices you don't find in Japan. And this makes sense because the owner at Manriki worked at Kikambo. So the bowl is also seasoned with miso. But unlike Kikambo, it really showcases the spices in a grander sort of way. And both bowls are excellent. Manriki emphasizes the spices more. It's a completely different bowl. A little bit sweet, a little bit sour, and a soup that isn't as rich or thick as Kikambo. The miso is still there, but it's basically setting the stage for all the beautiful spices. You've got cumin, for example, turmeric, and a lot of peppercorn. And it all comes together so harmoniously. But again, it's about spices, not about being spicy per se. Nicely thick noodles, big, thick slab of chashu, pork, plenty of crunchy bean sprouts that go well with the soup, soak it up. And they ask you if you want pakchi or negi, coriander or spring onions. I went for pakchi. Maybe it was because of the previous shop. I was jealous of Kellen and his bowl having a lot of pakchi inside. So I was like, I want to get pakchi. I love it, and it went beautifully with the soup. That was my first time there ever. It's been on my hit list for a long time, and I'm glad I was able to introduce this place to all of you because I loved it. And like Kikambo, they have a dark interior, but instead of centering everything on a theme of oni or devils and hell, this place is kind of centered on something that's the opposite. Buddhism and peace and harmony. So very different vibe. And even though the Kikambo elements are there, very different ramen. Delicious bowl. I got my quiet library residential voice on right now. And after that bowl, I can say I'm officially full. Those thick noodles, especially, 3 of the 4 we had really thick noodles, so they're just sitting in my stomach. However, I've got one more place to introduce to all of you, and this place is open only in the evening and until morning in Shinjuku's Kabukicho district, Tokyo's most shady, for Tokyo standards, red light district. Our final Tokyo spicy ramen shop. May not look like it, but I'm a broken man right now. My stomach is super full, telling me, what are you doing to me? And another part of my body is going to be saying something similar, I think, this evening. And it's such a weird feeling. I'm like walking around this sort of neon dystopia, and it's belly full and with all these bright neon lights, so much visual stimuli in Kabukicho. And I haven't been to Rishiri in a while. I was reminded very painfully how massive their bowls are. I had 5 bowls of ramen today, and I am stuffed. But I think we accomplished a lot today, team.
Nice job, team.
And I think with these sort of spicy ramen challenges, I don't do them that much, but usually when it's so insanely spicy, that's it for the day. It's so painful that I cannot eat another one. So these places were all spicy, but I didn't go insane in terms of the spice level. Now, don't get me wrong, I have a good spice tolerance. There are people that have better spice tolerance than I do. And this one was 5 out of 9 on their spice scale. And it was still hot, not insanely hot. And I think if you're someone that doesn't eat spicy food that much, it's gonna be very hot. But manageable. I was still sweating, coughing a little bit, definitely feeling the heat. It's not like it wasn't spicy. All of these had spice in them today. Some just more spicy than others. And that spiciest award goes to Inosho. I cannot even imagine what level 4 would have been like. But going back to what I was saying before, I think today was about highlighting, of course, spicy ramen that isn't just about being spicy or hot for the sake of being spicy. And these places, I think, highlight that very well. All wildly different spicy ramen. And of course, if you want to get your spice on, they allow you to do that. You can get 9 at Rishiri. I'm tempted to try that next time. And for tantanmen at Tteokbokki, of course, you can go up to 4. The other 2, you can't choose your spice, but again, they pack a fair amount of heat. So let me know which of the 5 bowls plus the other ones I introduced are ones you want to try the most. I'm gonna close out this video here. Noisy kabukicho, get away from the craziness of it. Thanks for joining. Frank from 5 AM Ramen signing out. I'm gonna go home, rest my tummy for a good day or 2, if not longer. Thanks for watching. Oh my god.